All right, everybody, we are here to, again, put another layer on a cup. This is a new cup I'm excited about. I designed it yesterday and created it yesterday, and I super love it. So I hope somebody else loves it as much as me. It's a little tedious, I'm not gonna lie, but I really like the way it came out, so I'm happy. So we're gonna go on and turn on our turner. I have already mixed up my epoxy. I'm doing a few different cups right now. You can see the wood grain right beside us. So I've already wiped it down with alcohol. All I'm doing is adding that last little layer on, and I wanted to give you a sneak peek of what it looks like. My husband's an avid hunter, so I just kind of found it perfect. And unfortunately, you're viewing it backwards because I like to epoxy this direction rather than that way, and the cup views that direction. So that part's a little goofy, but I think you'll get the idea of what it looks like, and it's super cool. So I am trying to get used to the idea of using a brush. The silicone brush, I love the idea of not touching the epoxy, and this would be the way to do it. Yes, I normally use a glove, but the thing with that is I still manage somehow or other to get it on me almost every time. So this is just me trying to make a conscious effort to not touch the epoxy ever. So I hope this angle works out for you guys. I'm trying to play with different angles. I'm sorry I have moaning going on in the background as far as a turner. Sometimes they like to moan, sometimes you can't do anything about it. A lot of times you can unscrew them and knock the stuff loose, because that's typically why they're moaning, is there's little metal shavings, which I will do. I'm just not very good at doing it every day because that would drive me crazy. So you can hear the squeaking. That is when I am hitting a part that does not have epoxy on it. So you can tell when I have epoxy because when it's got epoxy on there, it's quiet. I am just coming around. This is really, honestly, didn't need it. But I really felt like I should, because I only had one layer on the outside. It's actually a peekaboo. The black is a peekaboo. It is not vinyl. So honestly, I was done, but I kind of felt like the top rim should be done one more time, just a little closer to the top, because I felt like you could possibly feel some of that white up here at the very edge coming through, and I did not want the possibility of it unsealing because this is a really nice cup, and I would be very, very disappointed with the situation. So again, I'm just trying to slowly come around. I'm not worried about dishing out too much because I don't want too much to drip. I hate the dripping. I hate seeing more epoxy land on the surface below you than you're actually using. That drives me crazy. I watch people's videos, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that is like, oh, drives me crazy. All I can think is you wasted it. You wasted it. And I don't want to waste. So I'm just gonna continue coming all the way around this cup. Again, this is why I struggle with this. I don't know if this was this video. I think it was actually the last one. That this is why I struggle with this brush, is because if you actually look closely, it's not flat. And it's not supposed to be. But my issue with that is that it starts to ribbon. And I think it's because I use it like this rather than 45-degree angle. So you want to 45-degree angle it, and slow too. It's not, I mean, obviously you have to keep up with the turning of your cup, but you're not supposed to be making these giant ribbons every time. So you just take it slow, let it rotate all the way around. And you're just slowly coming around. Nice thing is when you do it like this, is I really see less bubbles than normal. When I just pour it onto the cup, I feel like I see more bubbles, but I will also say this epoxy has been sitting here because I did epoxy a separate cup first for a while. And typically, if you let it sit for a while, it will thicken up. And not only will it thicken up, it will also it will naturally pop a lot of the bubbles itself. Not all of them, just some of them. So I'm just gonna go from the top to the bottom and really try to just make sure I catch that edge. Because again, that's really the whole reason I was doing this cup again. Really doesn't need it. It was really smooth, nothing was messed up. I just wanted to make sure I hit the whole thing over again. And you'll see places that you're like, oh, that was a little funky. Was that enough epoxy? When you hit that, you'll just hit it with a little bit of epoxy and continue on. Again, I'm trying to really focus on this rim up here at the top, because that is why I redid the cup. So, I hope you enjoy it. It's a beautiful sunset. I had never tried painting with acrylics on a cup before. I put acrylics in my epoxy before, but I have never tried to actually acrylic paint it before. And that is what I chose to do. And I do love the way it came out. It's not perfect, but I'm human, so. We're just looking, making sure. I think I got the top rim nice. Just make sure this bottom rim is good. And there's no rhyme or reason. You've got a lot of time. If you're working, especially with Pro Marine, you have time. You do not need to rush as fast as you can. No, you don't want to take forever. That's a thing. You don't want to take forever, but you absolutely don't want to rush through it and then go, okay, oh my gosh, they're so not even. And again, it's self-leveling. It will do its thing. You don't really need to worry much, but I do. So, all right. And then again, I'll just hit the bottom. Make sure it's really nice and covered. All right. Whoop. This sucker will go up on my Facebook page tonight. The preliminary photos. Get a little action, see what people think. But I personally really like it. So I'm happy with the way it's come out. I'll come right back around one more time. And again, you want to keep it at 45. It makes those bumps easier. And again, you're just thickening up at this point, so that's super nice. It's looking like glass. We do need to heat it up real quick. That is easy. All right, so we're gonna move on. So all I'm gonna do is set this over to the side, and then I'll grab my heat gun. And this is my heat gun. It's real close. Oh dear. Here we go. It's a hot mess. It's mine. So it's got all kinds of crap on it, let's be honest. But it was from my father. But I do know they have them available at Harbor Freight. And supposedly for like less than 10. So it's got 3 different heat settings. I like it personally. I don't have a torch. This is what I use instead of a torch. People will swear you can't. I'm telling you can. So I put it on low, and I will just come back and forth really fast. You want to hold it. You can't quite tell how far away I am. But I am about 5 inches away, and I am just going back and forth. And you'll see your bubbles pop. I typically do 1 full round, making sure everything's popped. And then I will then watch it for another round, and I will, with it off, just check it and see if I see any more. Typically, I will find at least 2 or 3 more that I will want to pop. Make sure you heat the bottom. There shouldn't be a lot down there, but still hit the bottom just a little. All right, so let's pull this guy off. Turn it off. All right, so like I see a little bubble right there. Popped it. Ooh, that that is not a bubble. So that is actually hair, because I have, yuck, dogs. So, those are bubbles too. I have 2 different dogs, and even though they normally are very calm and on the floor and all that good stuff, not near the cups, occasionally it happens. You get yourself a hair in the cup. There we go. Alright, and then I'll come back again with that heat gun. I'll do one more round just because I was picking at it. Again, you're moving really quick. You do not want to burn this epoxy. There is nothing worse than all of a sudden realizing that you burnt your epoxy, and it does not matter how cute your design was underneath. It doesn't really matter. It is suddenly a goner. So, again, take it slow. You want to be up high above your cup. You don't want to be down low. You don't want to burn it. And that should be plenty. All right, so this guy's done. In about 30 minutes, I will come back over and I will pull his tape. You don't technically have to do 30 minutes. That is my preference. It is up to you. Anywhere between 30 to an hour is fine with Pro-Marine. But it really just depends. Some people like to do it immediately. So figure out what you like, play around. It's all good. All right, you guys, I am going to let you guys go and have a wonderful night. I will talk to you again soon.